Good morning on this Friday, April 16, 2021. This morning, let it be known, we're going to talk financial literacy. It is Financial Literacy Month, and we're going to do it with Mia Russell, the financial education leader within Wells Fargo's Financial Health Philanthropy team. We're looking forward to that informative discussion. But first, let us bring on our president and CEO, Dr. Ben Chavis. Good morning, Dr. Chavis.
Good morning, Stacy. On behalf of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, the Black Press of America. This is another Friday. We got a lot of headlines impacting the quality of life of African Americans and others. Let's get to it. And we're so pleased to have Wells Fargo with us this morning. Wells Fargo is a partner, a longtime supporter and sponsor of the National Newspaper Publishers Association. So we're looking forward to our special guest this morning.
Absolutely. In the news this morning, the Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated has a new investment initiative of more than $10 billion to advance racial equity and economic opportunity by investing in Black women. In partnership with Black women-led organizations, financial institutions, and other partners, Goldman Sachs will commit $10 billion in direct investment capital and $100 million in philanthropic capital over the next decade to address the dual disproportionate gender and racial biases that Black women have faced for generations. The initiative, Dr. Chavis, is called 1 Million Black Women, is named for and guided by the goal of impacting the lives of at least 1 million Black women by 2030. So Goldman Sachs, we take our hats off to you, Dr. Chavis.
Yes, well, again, we hope that all financial services institutions will do something similar. There's a disparity. There's a widening wealth gap in Black America, and that's why we're so pleased to have our relationship with Wells Fargo.
Oh, absolutely. And in the news this morning, too, Kim Goodwin, a longtime CBS News executive, is poised to become the next president of ABC News. Goodwin will be the first Black woman to run a broadcast network news operation. She currently serves as executive vice president of news for the network with oversight of the national desk, foreign desk, and bureau. She joined the network in 2007 and served as executive director for development and diversity. Kim Goodwin, congratulations to Kim Goodwin. Dr. Chavis, another Black woman taking the reins at a news outlet.
Well, this is the era of Black women leadership in all sectors of our society. And we salute Kim and we wish her all the best. And certainly we need more Black women. I'm going to give a shout out to our chair of the NNPA, Karen Carter Richards, our whole executive committee of the NNPA, our first vice president, our second vice president, our treasurer, our secretary, all are Black women publishers of the NNPA and leaders of the NNPA. So we are so pleased to see Black women make an advancement in the publishing area, in the news maker area, the news broadcast area, and other areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And our own Dr. Ben Chavis joined Charles Blow, Cheryl Willis, Kat Stafford, and others on a media panel Thursday during the National Action Network's annual convention, which features the nation's key civil rights leaders, elected officials, clergy, grassroots organizers, and social justice activists. The convention runs through Saturday. Of course, Dr. Chavis and the NNPA chair, Karen Carter Richards, have remained busy putting the finishing touches on the NNPA's annual convention, which takes place virtually from June 23rd to June 26th with the theme, Black Press Matters, Trusted Voice, Resilient Vitality, and Transformative Vision. To register for free, go to www.virtualnnpa2021.com. We are all looking forward to that convention, Dr. Chavis.
It's going to be a great convention. Last year, we had our first virtual convention, and over 100,000 people weighed in from all over the United States. You know, when you do something virtual, it's more opportunity for people to participate, to be involved, and to be engaged. And we look forward in June 25th through June 23rd through the 26th, 2021. So people should register right now. Don't wait. So you can be on the mailing list, so you can be on the email blast list for the NNPA and stay up on the Black news of the day.
Yeah, and Dr. Chavis, briefly, can you tell us about the panel you were on yesterday, this Black media panel at the National Action Network's convention?
Thank you. Just briefly, it was a reaffirmation of the importance of the Black press. This year, we're celebrating 194th year of the Black Press of America since Freedom's Journal was first published in 1827. And so this was, even though a lot of the people on the panel were from mainstream press, they all affirmed the importance of Black-owned media, the Black newspapers and Black other owned media that services our community. So it was a great panel. We thank Reverend Sharpton and the National Action Network for permitting the NMPA to participate in what turned out to be a great conference, still going on.
Yep. And I want to say good morning to Lynn Spivey, Annette Phillips, Joni King, our own Bobby Henry of the West Side Gazette, and of course, our executive administrator, Claudette Perry, and everyone else who's watching. We appreciate you tuning in. And please feel free to drop questions in the box at any point. Dr. Chavis, one more news note. Miss Marjorie Parham, publisher emerita of the Cincinnati Herald and widow of founder Gerald Porter, passed peacefully in her sleep on Wednesday, April the 14th. She was 103 years old. The Cincinnati Herald's publisher, Marjorie Parham, was a fighter for justice. In 1963, Miss Parham's husband, Gerald Porter, was in a car accident. He was taken to one hospital which refused to treat him because he was Black. But Mr. Porter then was transported to another hospital, and by the time he reached the hospital, it was too late. He had passed away. Rather than shut down the newspapers, Ms. Parham jumped in to save the business. She closed the Dayton office and then called the White House to ask if her son could be discharged from the Army so that he could help run the Cincinnati Herald. Bill Spillers was sent home. He and his mother ran the Cincinnati Herald until it was purchased by Sesh Communications in 1996. And of course, the publisher today is the fabulous Jan Michelle Kearney.
Absolutely. Jan Michelle Kearney is our Region 3 president of the NMPA, a member of the city council there in Cincinnati, and a distinguished publisher, member of the National Newspaper Publishers Association. And I just want to pause to say that all of us, on behalf of Karen Carter Richards, our chair, and all the members of publishers of the 230 African-American owned newspapers in the United States, we pause to salute Sister Pam. May she rest in peace. 103 years old. That's a marvelous life. And she made a tremendous commitment. You remember in 2019, we had our convention in Cincinnati. We paid a special tribute to Mrs. Pam for her leadership and her longevity. So the Black press pauses today, express our condolences to the Pam family. And certainly we lift up and we dedicate ourselves to keep the spirit of Mrs. Pam alive in the Black press of America.
Yeah, absolutely. And this morning, Dr. Chavis, you know, it's all month long, it's Financial Literacy Month.
Great.
So what better group than Wells Fargo and Mia Russell to come on and talk about financial literacy. Good morning, Mia Russell.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here with you and celebrating National Financial Literacy Month.
Great. Sister Russell, thank you so much. And please let everybody know at Wells Fargo, particularly Cheryl Donaldson and many others, that we really appreciate the support of Wells Fargo. Without your support, the Black press would not be able to do what it do. So I don't want us to take for granted. We just thank Wells Fargo for your continuing support.
Thank you all for what you all are doing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Mia, let's get right into it. First of all, it is Financial Literacy Month. What's the importance of Financial Literacy Month?
So I guess if we just think about the current context, right now we have experienced a global health and financial crisis for over a year. So we have kind of this idea of being financially literate or capable, as well as having an emergency fund, being prepared for those things that happen, that, just being prepared for life has really been amplified. So I think this year about National Financial Literacy, or we call it National Financial Capability Month, a little differently and in a bit more meaningful way, because financial knowledge, kind of the access that's required, as well as opportunities to engage in the economy and our financial marketplace, are really important for our long-term success.
Yeah, fantastic. And I know that Wells Fargo has a lot of programs and products in which the mission of financial literacy is carried out. Can you just tell us some of those, and certainly some programs that pertain to Black and Brown people specifically?
Sure. So if I'll talk about some of our philanthropy products and also some of the things that as an enterprise or as a bank we're doing. And then I'll try to remember to come back and talk about things that we can find more broadly in the field. So we have made specific to COVID-19, we've made a commitment to by supporting several nonprofit organizations with free financial counseling, financial coaching, kind of help expand financial education workshops. We also have a hands-on banking program. Hands-on banking is a free financial education program that is provided as a public service to the general community. We offer resources for educators, parents, as well as kind of self-paced courses for students and adults. The hands-on banking program is a non-commercial program. So there's no, it's bank agnostic. There's no mention of products or services. This is truly an effort to help increase the financial knowledge and capability of, the world. We also have programs in the bank, like our within Wells Fargo, that can like other apps that we might have. And we find apps many places that can help you save, or can help you to, really help you to save and set it and forget it, is how behavioral economists mention it, right? Out of sight, out of mind. And then more broadly, there are tons of resources that you can find from counseling and coaching, as I already mentioned, and information. Some places like the CFPB, or Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, you can find information there about all types of financial education or consumer protection resources at consumerfinance.gov. And I guess I'll stop there.
Well, tell me something, Mia. Tell us something. You have, I understand, authored or co-authored more than 20 personal finance and organizational education management tools, financial management tools. Tell us a little bit about that.
So over my career, much of my career has been in financial education. I think before I knew what financial education was, I stumbled into it. So actually, right out of college, I worked with individuals trying and helping them to resolve credit issues as they were looking to kind of strengthen their financial foundation and acquire assets. Over time, I've found myself in many different spaces and ended up, or just prior to Wells Fargo, ended up at University of Maryland as faculty there. And there, we created programs similar to the hands-on banking program that would help the community. And so and again, that was timely. So when lots of financial management tools came out, or what we call PFMs, personal financial management tools. When they came out, we realized that people didn't know which ones to trust, how to use them, which ones, what the pros and cons were. So we would develop programs and, scholarly articles to help them understand. I've also worked on projects, for example, on the heels of the Affordable Care Act passing. We created we at University of Maryland, we created a health insurance literacy program. And this program was designed to help people understand the new provisions, right? And if you've never had access to health insurance before, how do you know how to choose and use the insurance? So we really looked at, within the cooperative extension system, we looked at how we could take research and make it applicable and practically used in the community. And so that is really where most of those articles and programs kind of were born.
Wow, fantastic. Dr. Chavis, I know you want to get in on the conversation. Please do.
Thank you. Mia, thank you for your expertise. And we see why Wells Fargo made the decision to give you this important assignment. I just did some research. It seems to be that a large number of African Americans are still, quote unquote, unbanked. Can you talk about how to get people who never had a bank account or who probably think they can't get a bank account? What's Wells Fargo's position on the millions of people who are unbanked?
That's a really great question, Dr. Chavis. And we do have a focus on the unbanked, but I also want to make mention that we have an even larger population that are what we call underbanked, right? So we may have a bank account, but we don't really have a relationship with the bank or know how to effectively use it. So one way that Wells Fargo supports the unbanked and the underbanked consumers is with programs like a Bank On product, right? Where we help, we work in a consortium to help people have access to free and no fee checking accounts, right? And a lot of times these Bank On consortiums, right, they also offer financial education. Because one of the things, in order for someone to actively participate, they need to understand how things work, right? And so it's more than just the access. We also want to couple it with the education.
Well, that is, yeah, that is so important. One of our viewers is saying that financial literacy is so important, yet so lacking, especially in the Black community. So they say kudos to Wells Fargo for offering these programs, resources, and services, and thanks to the Black press for helping to bring more awareness of them. Talk about that too, if you will, Mia, awareness, how important it is. Dr. Chavis did mention about being unbanked, but financial awareness in our community is not often taught in schools anymore. It's not discussed at home enough anymore. Can you talk about the importance of that, please?
Sure. And I guess before I'm jumping to that, I also want to make mention of an article that you recently, you mentioned our commitment to Black-owned banks. That's another way when we talk about unbanked and underbanked communities, right? That by supporting minority depository institutions, we're also helping people to see these institutions in their community that they already trust and helping to kind of help them become, give them more investment, right? That's another way that we're doing that. In terms of awareness, this is a national issue, and there are many organizations that are trying to help or encourage states to require financial education in public school and as a graduation requirement. So when we see, when you ask about the awareness and that it's not taught, right, we know this. There are many states, and that list is always growing, right, that states are becoming to offer financial education. We need more and more mandates. So, that is also something that we would love to see. But we know that in the Black community, and really like the Black and Brown community, we have the knowledge and financial confidence is disproportionately lower, and so there is an opportunity for people to explore lots of programs. Like there are lots of programs out there. And one mentioning like the hands-on banking program, people can access from wherever they are, right? They can go through programs, identify their own financial goals and find content that's relevant. And when you think about the importance of awareness, by not having some financial awareness or acumen, it it kind of I guess shines a light on where we are today. We have fewer families have emergency funds, and without an emergency fund or adequate savings, it's harder to avoid financial crisis. We have lower credit scores, and then therefore charged higher rates on various forms of credit. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I think for those reasons, we know it's important to have more to increase our financial knowledge.
Yeah, and Mia, obviously, well, I say obviously, but it seems that when you had someone to talk to you when you were younger about financial literacy and the importance of things like banking, things like home ownership. Talk about that, your experience, your personal experience, how you came to become this, as I say, a financial guru.
So I think it's not obvious, right? But I learned a lot right out of college because I helped people. I actually in college I had an internship, and because I was in the business department, they thought maybe I could help families build a budget. That was really when I was introduced to financial education. But I didn't really know what I was doing. I've made tons of mistakes. I think that because I've made tons of mistakes and have found myself in many financial kind of precarious situations, it has made me more interested in learning about what we do, why we do it, how we do it. I was not taught at home about credit. I think the one thing I was taught how to write a check. And that's almost obsolete now. But I think just my experiences and what many would call, or maybe I would characterize as failures, is what has taught me the most. So in that way, I think I'm happy that I look at it as an opportunity to learn, right? And not as a true failure and that I can't overcome it. And I think because of that, this is all I talk about, right? I have financial challenges with my sisters and my family because I know that some mistakes are harder to recover from. But it's almost always recoverable. We always get a do-over. And I think keeping that mindset as well as the curiosity to keep learning is really important.
All right. Well, Dr. Chavis, I got to throw it back to you because you have some expertise in this subject too.
Well, thank you, but not as much expertise as Mia. I just want to say that, Mia, we have a lot of young people that watch our show every morning. Generation Z as well as millennials. What advice would you have to young people about the importance of getting their credit scores right at a young age, protecting their credit? I used to do a lot in the hip hop community. Everybody was saying they're going to stack their paper, But can you talk to us about the importance of saving also, particularly while you're young? You don't have to wait till you get old to start a savings account.
Yeah, I think at the moment that you are working or you have some earned income, I think you want to start saving for tomorrow. Certainly, as soon as you start working, and if you have access to employer-sponsored retirement plan, you want to at least contribute what your employer will contribute. That is essentially what we call free money, right? You're going to be matched. I also suggest that, and we have it it's a right, that you check your credit report every year. Annualcreditreport.com is the site that the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, sponsors, and we're given the opportunity to pull our credit report for free from each of the 3 credit bureaus. In fact, right now we can pull it weekly because of all of the frauds and scams that are going on, which in many ways is a little scary that we can pull it weekly, right? That is just scary to consider how much fraud is happening right now. The other thing I would say is, I know many people are concerned about their credit score, but I would really focus on the actual, the data on your credit report. It's almost like being concerned about your GPA and not focusing on the actual grades or the assignments that are due in class so that you know you get the right grade. So it's really important to check your credit report. It's important to save anything that you can. And in terms of saving, oftentimes people are looking for ways to save or places to look. And I think, I'd argue that there are lots of ways or places where we overspend or we may do it without thinking. So I'd look at, start by creating a budget. Track your expenses for the next 30 days, or maybe look at your last 1 or 2 months of bank statements and really identify where you're spending money. It's hard to make changes if we don't know what we're doing. It's similar. You probably have heard an analogy to GPS, right? If you don't put in the place where you're going, it's hard for your phone or car to direct you. And I would build savings into that budget or that spending plan that you create.
Wow. Well, Mia, Russell, we thank you and Wells Fargo. Dr. Chavis, your closing thought?
Well, again, this whole month is Financial Literacy Month, Financial Capability Month. And again, on behalf of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, we reaffirm our ongoing working relationship. We thank Wells Fargo for being our sponsor. We mentioned the convention earlier. Wells Fargo will be at our national convention. We thank you for your support, Mia. And we wish you well as you continue to help raise not only the level of awareness of the importance of financial literacy, but push forward as one of the leaders of Wells Fargo Bank. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, it's not too early to register for the National Newspaper Publishers Association's annual summer convention, which is held virtually this year, and it's free. Again, www.virtualnnpa2021.org. And don't forget a special edition of Let It Be Known next Wednesday, April 21st, with the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Rochelle Walensky. Tune in and send in your questions. Also, don't forget to tune in this and every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. for the Chavis Chronicles on PBS TV and PBS World. It is National Financial Literacy Month, and it's an excellent opportunity to review and upgrade your financial smarts. Whether you're just starting out or have been earning your way for quite some time, it's never too late to learn about saving and improving your financial outlook. Developing a budget and building financial knowledge is the foundation for a brighter future. Let it be known, the single biggest difference between financial success and financial failure is how well you manage your money. It's simple. To max the money, you must manage money. Have a great weekend. Stay well, stay safe, wear a mask, and we will see you Monday.